Guys, let's waste no time and let's talk about the first topic here. Hot Toys The Mandalorian, the Chrome version that Leao and I were really mad about when it first got announced way back. That I don't know about Leao because I don't remember, but I know myself I'm going to buy it, even though I swore up and down that I never would because I was
Mhm.
very upset about it at the time.
Mhm.
What happened recently is that this Mandalorian, the collector's edition, not the deluxe, you can see that's still available, but the collector's edition has gone to waitlist.
Mhm.
Very unexpected. I don't think anyone expected this to happen, but here we are. $330 for this piece. I don't know if this means the release is imminent. Maybe this wasn't a very popular version compared to the deluxe, which people tend to go for. But people got to remember with the deluxe, you're paying $45 more. All you're really getting is like the bag and the Boba Fett accessories. So to me, I always felt like that wasn't quite worth the $45, but now I don't really have much of a choice. So I'm
Mhm.
going to have to just get the deluxe one probably. But I want to start with you, Leo, on this one. With the
Yeah.
Mandalorian Chrome version waitlisted, what do you
Mhm.
think this means for figures moving forward? Because this has to be a very popular figure, I would think, and I don't
Yeah.
know if it's imminent release that's affecting it, but waitlist it's becoming a reality for a lot of figures.
I don't know. I feel a bit different about this because you have the collector's edition, you have the deluxe, and people, sometimes they lean towards the collector's edition
Mm-hmm.
because it's less, to them, it's not as expensive. And on top of that, not too many people actually wanted the additional accessories. They just wanted to actually have Mando Chrome, with the actual spear, with the dark saber. That's it. That's basically where they want. I think there was less, stock in getting the actual deluxe version. So not too many people actually went towards that version. So they probably still have, which they do, available spaces for that. Everybody was, mainly leaning towards. And then on top of that, right now you got to think that if you're looking at the dates, expected shipping date, people are still leaning towards what, December, January.
Mm-hmm.
And with the turnaround, how quickly, Sideshow is turning around figures. It's like, again, people are mainly more focused on that. Here's the thing though. I wouldn't I wouldn't I wouldn't technically jump to get the deluxe, without really doing your research. I actually managed to get it, I originally before a while back. I pre-ordered it through Underground Figures. That's who I actually got it. And there's still some available. You know what I mean? So you can actually get them through Underground Figures with my man Ray. And considering the simple fact that how fast, I mean, look at the simple fact that what last week or the week before last, Captain Carter was released. It Sideshow got it quick, and then from there Ray got it, and I mine will be here tomorrow. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if you do the research, you can find a right reseller who'll have them in stock. You can even find it, for better deals. You know what I mean? I'm just basically throwing it out there. I think, look, right now we see this trend happening with Sideshow, but
Mm-hmm.
right now, technically, it's only happening with Sideshow for a minute. You know what I mean? Now, granted, they are the major distributors, North American, distributors for all the other distributors that we actually have. So they actually get them out to these other places. Again, I wouldn't get too hung up about it. Yes, it's happening. Yes, we can see this is a trend moving forward with Sideshow for the moment. I don't think it's going to last that long, but it's just for the moment. I mean, good. They're trying to basically clear out dead stock that they actually have sitting. So that's why we see all these sales. We're going to see more during Black Friday. We're going to see more next month. At the end of the month, going into January, they're going to want to move things. So along with this one, I mean, they're just being cautious, extra cautious, but you can still get the actual collector's edition. You just have to do research, find it. And even on top of that, I would even go waitlist just to see what happens. Yeah, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to stick with Sideshow, go waitlist just to see how it happens. Me myself, I'm getting it through Ray over there at Underground Figures. My guy Ray never steers me wrong, so I basically set it up with him. He said, "Hey, I got you, no problem." You know what I mean? So that was mainly it. So again, you don't have to necessarily, when you see this through Sideshow, don't just jump automatically. Oh, now I got to get the deluxe. If you don't want the deluxe, do some research. You'll find it.
Yeah, and you're right, Leo. There are definitely options out there, and Sideshow's
Great
not the
advice.
only one. Yeah,
Mhm.
because I mean, there's if you want to wait, like pop culture could be one that you look at. Like you said, underground figures. Like I was looking at Alter Ego, but they actually sold their last few the other day, so they sold out as well. But there are other options too that you can look for out there. I don't know if Comic Concept still has some, but they might. So But yeah, it's definitely an interesting trend that we're seeing. But Gina, what do you think about this Mandalorian Chrome version going to waitlist? Is this significant to you?
Yeah, I was really surprised actually. I would figure that maybe the deluxe would go. I don't know. What I get from this though is, or I guess my advice would be to people, if you were anyone who's really sort of dead set on just the collector regular version, you can always just get on the wait list. There's a good chance that it can actually convert.
Mhm.
I would, you don't be forced. You're forced to get the deluxe. If you want, just get on the wait list, and
Yeah.
there's a good chance people might cancel when it's time. Actually, when they start charging and
Yep.
and shipping it out and charging people may cancel. There's a good
Mhm.
chance you might get on. So I would say if you really want the figure and don't feel that you have to get the deluxe, but on the flip side of that, I think if you get the deluxe, maybe I'm in the minority on this, but I really like the accessories. When I first saw it, this is why I had ordered the deluxe. I didn't even know it was Chrome I'm not sure at that point when I first ordered, they even announced that it was going to be Chrome. I just love the accessories and like that shot right there of him just holding sort of all of his armor and all the packages, just sort of resting it on his shoulder. That right there, I was like, that looked amazing to me. So I got the deluxe because I love the accessories and what you can do and how you can pose that. So I got it for that reason. So I'm in the minority. I really love the accessories, so I got the
No,
deluxe. And
I think there's a lot of people going after
No,
the
yeah.
deluxe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
So
lot of
even-
people getting it. Yeah.
I think that's
Okay.
why this one went to waitlist and the regular version went to waitlist instead of the deluxe, Gina, because it wasn't as popular. I think that's probably what happened.
and it's
Yeah.
probably a lower number and
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like
it's
the Doc Ock standard versus deluxe. I think the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like they were probably betting on the simple fact that a lot of people were after the deluxe, so they got
Get the
low
deluxe.
stock on
Yeah.
the regular version, and that's just the way it was. But that's why the deluxe is still available, because they're betting that a lot of people will go through for this
Yeah.
version. So
Yeah, and then it causes the sort of the inverse reaction that they were expecting. It makes the less desirable one that they expected to be more desirable. It's like now everyone's wanting to get just the regular collector's edition. That actually made that one a bit more desirable. It was like, wow, that one's more harder to get.
funny.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Gina. You probably see this. You collect statues. I've seen. So with you, like they pretty much always make more of the deluxe than they do the collector's or standard edition, because most people tend to go for that. So like they might make sometimes 2 to 1. Like they might make 2 of the deluxe version to every 1 of the standard version, because most people go for the deluxe typically.
No,
because-
actually, with statues, they actually like reverse it. So the exclusive, where they offer more, where they offer an extra thing, that's actually a lower edition.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, you have to look at, but I've seen the opposite sometimes. Like what I'm thinking of is like Prime 1, for example, Gina. Like I just looked recently, the Night King, for example, right? The Night King was, I think they made 200 of the deluxe and 100 of the standard. So
Oh,
it
okay.
depends.
I'm talking about the sideshow exclusives.
Oh,
But
sideshow
you're talking-
exclusives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
but
thinking
you're
of
talking
just
about
statues
deluxe
in general.
prime ones, right? I got
Yeah,
you.
because Prime 1, and I can also, like another one like Jin Sakai, for example, right? The deluxe one comes with him like holding the mask and stuff, where the other one doesn't, and people really want that. So they probably make twice as many of that compared to the standard edition. So, but I get what you mean with sideshow, yeah. But with statues, I guess it depends on the manufacturer, but like I think more people buy the deluxe because that deluxe is such a buzzword. It's like buying organic food. Like when you see the term
Yeah.
organic on it, you're like, I'm going to buy that. That's organic.
Yeah.
It's healthy, right? So it's the same deal basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, great thoughts, you guys. Ben, what do you think about this Mandalorian going to waitlist, man? Is there anything actionable here that you think?
It's interesting. It's an interesting topic because I do remember listening to you guys when you first found out about this one releasing, and I remember the sting you had, Will, because
I was so
I felt
mad.
I felt the same way at the time. I had literally just got the Beskar Mando in my collection. I'm not kidding, like about a week earlier, and the way they advertised this figure at the time was like, look at how much better this Chrome one is.
Yep, and they did the
basically,
comparison.
I
Yep.
think it's
Yeah,
on here.
and-
Yep, I think it's on
And
here.
it was
There it is.
It kind of blew my mind because like I just got this figure in my collection. I was like loving it, right? I mean, I loved the Mandalorian. I loved the Beskar version, and then like this kind of put a bit of a bad taste in my mouth at the
Yeah.
time. Now, obviously, being able to kind of get away from that a little bit. Now it's been a couple months. The dust has settled a little bit. And now we're at that point in which, you have to decide whether you want to pull the trigger on this Mando. Do you want to try and sell the last version that you have? If you sell it, are you taking a bit of a loss on it? Because people know that this version's coming out, so they're not necessarily willing to give you your full money back. Like, So you're kind of in this weird dichotomy of choice. For me, in my own mind's eye, in my own collection in the back, the way I've got it lit, my Beskar Mando, I feel like is shiny. I think he looks the part. I think it looks exactly like how I envision that character from the show to look. So I don't feel like I necessarily need this version. Where this one I think is still superior is I think the Chrome does look really cool. So don't get me wrong, I don't want to take anything away from the Chrome. But he comes with the Pedro Pascal head sculpt, right? He comes with the dark sable. He has the Beskar spear. Like, he has a couple of accessories in there where I'm like, damn, like I kind of wish that I had those. But I also know there are other distributors like Etsy out there that you can reach out to and have some of those accessories made for the figure I already have. The scene in which they advertise this with all the the baggage and the boba armor and stuff, it's a very specific scene in that show. But if I'm not necessarily planning on displaying them that way, I don't feel like I need the deluxe version. If I had bought this version, it probably would have been the standard, because I would have just maybe wanted that slightly more shiny version, as well as I said, the head sculpt. But we're getting so close to season 3 now. I would not be surprised if we not only see more of Pedro Pascal's face, because he's clearly, just like the other Mandalorians that he's meeting now with Bo-Katan and them, they're not afraid to take their helmet off. So we're going to see his face a lot more than we probably even did in the first season and maybe into the second. I don't think this will be the only time we'll get an opportunity to have the Pedro head sculpt. I could get some of the other accessories made that I want, and it would not surprise me if they change the armor just in a subtle way, maybe add some color striping or something that kind of differentiates that third season version from this one.
Yeah.
It's just like that's just the market, right? I mean, that's how they sell toys. Like, it's the way she goes. I think I'll probably hold out to see what comes out of the third season. Maybe I'll like that armor to stand by my Beskar Mando and just add some accessories at my own cost slowly down the line. The other thing is that Facebook Marketplace randomly in Canada has been really good for me lately. There's been a lot of people who clearly buy figures and then are like, I probably didn't need this, and end up selling it here at discounted rates. So kind of like you guys are saying, put yourself on the wait list. It might get converted, but also keep looking for those other sources, because you may end up finding a deal from somebody who bought this and decided, it's not actually something I truly need. And you might be able to pick it up later down the line, maybe even for cheaper. So I'm going to hold out for season 3. I think on this one, it went wait list. I guess, snooze you lose for me at this time.
Well,
And you know what the sad part
Leo,
about this is the simple fact that the only reason why I wanted this figure was for the head sculpt. I mean, literally it was because I didn't need, of course we have, Gideon, who has the dark saber. We also know that this, the Beskar spear got melted down. Spoiler alert for those who didn't see Boba Fett. But it got melted down and to chain mesh for Grogu. So, you know what I mean? It's for me, it was just like, damn, all I wanted was basically the head sculpt, because I wanted to use that head sculpt for the transport trooper. You know what I mean? At least one of the transport troopers. So that's basically where I'm using it. Whereas with the chrome armor, I'm just going to have the head sculpt, the helmet on the entire time. You know what I mean? So again, it's just like, I wish there would have been like an accessory pack, and they need to kind of dive into that going towards the future. If they would give us but I understand it's marketing. They have to do what they got to do. Can't crawl over spilled milk. It's there. I know when we basically found out the first time, it was slap in the face. Here's the thing though. It's crazy because when they released the the last version of it, I had gotten it like a month before everyone else. And that was through Sideshow, which was crazy. You know what I mean? Because they had released I guess the first batch, and I guess there were a couple of people still waiting on it, but I had gotten it earlier. So it wasn't that much of a bad taste, but it was still a bad taste because I'm like, come on, man, like this was honestly the superior version that pretty much everybody would have wanted.
Are you going to try to sell that then?
No, I don't sell.
Leo doesn't sell that much.
I don't sell figures at all unless I have to. If I have to, I will. But the thing is, the market right now is not good for selling anything.
No,
you know what I mean? Literally, it's not. So you got to kind of wait that one out. But I mean, to have two versions, the recapture, I collect based on the IP, based on the moment. And for the moment, I can recreate those particular moments. With this, I'll be able to recreate even more moments. And we are going to see basically a modified version of the armor going into season 3. I mean, hell, I'm just going to say it. I mean, he has the dark saber. He doesn't have that dark saber for no particular reason at all. I'm just going to put it out there like that. So again, we'll just have to see how it goes. where it be passed next. But again, we're going to see a lot more. You know, and then again, like I said, he is the rightful heir of even the Night's Watch, the night, the Death Watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's basically like, again, head of them as well. He can take that, you know, leadership role there as well. But again, I'm just happy to see it. I mean, to each, you know, everybody, but just know you have options. You have so many options out there, so many different ways to get it. So you don't have to fall for everything. But I understand that it is marketing for them. So
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing I'll add is just one reason, like you guys were kind of touching on, that people tend to go for the deluxe in a lot of cases is because if you do ever decide to resell, that investment you put into the deluxe is much easier to move than the collector's edition. Even if the accessories are pointless, people don't care. They want the thing that says deluxe on it. You can just look at, or exclusive. You can look at the Venom as an example. The Venom that had a spare Venom head went for like twice as much as the one that didn't. And all it had was like a tiny little head that no one was ever going to use. So
exactly right.
just how collectors' minds work. So
And Will, did you see what else is basically getting released early next month?
Loki?
No. Axe Wolves.
Oh, Axe Wolves, is he?
Yeah, people
Like
have
the
gotten
date's
there.
been bumped up?
Yeah, they bumped the date up to December. They basically
Well, it's probably such an easy figure for them to make. There's no head sculpt.
no head sculpt
So
for
it's
it.
probably so easy.
Yeah, so that one
Yeah.
got bumped up. But again, it's going to probably sit for a while, and on top of that, end up on bargain, depending. But I'm still going to
Yeah.
get it because I have to complete
Yeah.
the 3. You can't just have
Yeah.
the other 2 without that one. So
It looks cool, bro. It looks cool.
And I mean, you guys had the Beskar version in your collections, right? Or still
Yep.
do layout?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
did
didn't,
you
yeah.
first look at that figure and were like, this isn't shiny enough? Or were you like,
No,
this is badass? Like,
I thought it was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't look at it as if it did the shine. The shine wasn't even an issue. So I mean, I thought it was decent. Of course, we know that the thigh piece on the armor was different. Like they did change that.
Right.
It was modified. So I guess we're getting the upgraded version here with this one. But I believe that in season 3, you know, both thigh pads are going to be chrome. They're going to actually, you know, he's going to get upgrade on his armor itself. More Beskar. You know, me myself. Preferably, I think the best out of the bunch is the Durasteel. I love that Durasteel.
That's my
armor.
favorite.
I have
too.
that. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
got me into Hot Toys. It was the
Yeah.
first when
I love that
when I saw
Durasteel
Interesting.
armor, and I think that
Yeah.
they should have stuck with that Durasteel armor.
I think they
for,
should have
like,
stuck with it
season
longer.
1, season 2, and then going
I
into
loved
season
it.
3.
And
give
I
him
just
a-
love those colors, that
Yeah,
whole color
I love
it.
scheme. And so I
Yeah.
got that, and I actually skipped the next version. I was like, and then that's what made me sort of
the
jump on
Durasteel.
this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the previous Mando. I'm like, oh well, this is my chance to get, you know, this one. So
Yeah.
well, and like the reason I asked you guys that quick question, and I'll make it quick. It's like I've had this conversation with the Collecting Weekly guys a lot, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, if you have friends or family over and they see your collection, I've had people come and see that Mando on my shelf and be like, oh my god, you've got a Mandalorian. Like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen, right? It's only
Yeah.
collectors like us who know whether we have the chromed out version or not, and can make any level of judgment in that. I think if you're happy with the original in your collection, don't lose money to try and trade up if you don't necessarily care more about this option, right? Only do it if you want the accessories, or if you just for whatever reason, maybe you're a completionist collector, or you think it's that much cooler, then it may be justified. But otherwise, it's going to still be the coolest Mandalorian you've ever had in your collection. Don't worry about it. You can save your money for some of the next really cool releases we're going to talk about. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.